hit this. Okay, so we're doing our draft lottery. I'm out of frame there for a minute. Doing our draft lottery for this year's fantasy league, and I got Drew with me, who is now the co-commish because Josh left the league and Alan left the league too. And so as we were discussing in text, that left us with essentially 9 people in the league after somebody had taken over Josh's team. So we brought in 3 more from Gridiron Champs League, which I used to be a part of for about 5 years. And so what we're going to do first is we're going to draw their order for keeper. So I have Craig has 10, Jeff has 11, and Steven has 12. And that's going to be their order for their keeper. And once I select their order for their keeper, as always, we select our numbers in the lottery based on what position we finished. So this year, 1 is Packer Backer, 2 is Benchwarmers, and 3 is Blue Bloods, and 4 is me, and so forth. I will give their number in the lottery based on however they draw in this sub lottery. So regardless, they'll have 10, 11, or 12, but I'll determine what their lottery number is based on how they draw on this one. So we'll go ahead and get started with this. And there's the first one. And it's 12. So that means, Steven, you've got the first pick towards the keeper. So that means you'll also have pick 10 in the lottery selection here. So I'm going to put you down for that. So Steven's got pick 1 towards the keeper. So pick number 2. There it is. And it is 11. So that's Jeff. So that puts Craig at 3rd. Sorry, Craig. So you'll have 3. But now we're going to see how we do. Let me put all of these back in the bingo thing, hopper, buggy, whatever you want to call it, thing, spinner, wheel, whatever, cage. All right, here we go. Let me mix them up. All right, pick 1. Oh, it went back in. Hang on, let's mulligan on that. Pick 1 is lucky son of a bitch. Packer Backer. Pick 1. So he is number 1. Wins the league, and then he draws pick 1.
Yeah.
God.
It works out that way sometimes.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? All right, here we go. Pick 2. Oh, 2 of them come out. I'm not looking at this one. I'm putting it back in because it came out second. Pick 2 is Matt's Marauders. So last year you had pick 1. This year you got 2. So Matt, don't screw it up, buddy. All right, here we go. And here it comes. Pick 3 is Derek, Zim City. Good job, Derek. All right, there we go. There we go. Pick 4. All right. That's you.
Yay.
Congratulations. You're picking in the
top 5.
in the top 5. That's the first time, right?
Yeah.
3, that's Tanner, Blue Bloods. So Tanner, you are picking number 5. That's me. I'm pick 6. I hate picking in the middle rounds. Oh, there we go. So number 7 is Benchwarmers, Stefan. It jumped right in there. So 8 is Cody, Garbage Bags. I think you picked 8 last year. I may be wrong about that. I think you did. So, we're going to redo that. I don't know what was going on there.
You really got a piece of crap.
Dude, you were with me when I picked it out, okay? So, all fairness, this is sort of your fault, too. It is 11. That is going to be Jeff. So, Jeff, you've got pick 9 in the draft. Ten. That's Steven. 10 picks 10.
That's convenient.
Come on. There we go. And so pick 11 is 7. That's Billy. And that means, Craig, you are picking 12. So that is our lottery. So here's the order. Quick rundown. Packer Backer, Matt's Marauders, Zim City, Ackbar, Blue Bloods, Red Raiders, Benchwarmers, Garbage Bags. I'm assuming Widowmakers for Jeff. 10 is Steven. I can only assume is Unicorn Fury. And 11 is Purple People Eaters. And 12 is Craig T. Nelson, the coach. So that's our draft order. Just a note for everybody. If you had a logo set for your team, whenever I added 2 teams, for some reason it reset all the logos on your team to a default. And so, like, I know Derek had a picture of Mike Zimmer. That's now gone. I think you've got the Philadelphia Eagles or Chiefs or something, I don't know, on it. I went in and changed mine already. But it reset that, so if you go and look at your team and you're like, what happened to my logo? You can change it back. Just go to your main team page and hit edit settings, and then you can go in and change your team logo back to the way that you want it. The next order of business will be to set a draft date. We will do that at a later time, but I'm assuming that, like we have in the past, we should probably shoot for like the start of the 4th week of the preseason, because most of us in this league are student affairs professionals, many of us in residence life. So we have an opening weekend around the 18th. So that's out of the question. And then there's Labor Day weekend, and a lot of us like to do stuff for that. So we'll probably be looking like 3rd, 4th week of the preseason. So, but we'll talk about it later as a league and figure out a day and time that's going to work really good for everybody in the league. So I'll post the draft order. I will be uploading this to YouTube, but I'll have the draft order on the YouTube channel and on the league website. So that's it for now.
Keeper.
And the keepers. Yes. Oh, that's right. So Drew had a pretty good idea, in my opinion. So instead of us going into the draft and just having a first round where 3 people select, the logic behind this is it's going to kind of make it tough for people to mock draft if they don't know what it is that we're working with that's already not going to be available. So here's my recommendation. You go ahead and set your keeper. Go ahead and do that now. And what we will do, I'm not going to let Craig, Jeff, or Steven select a player until we get close to the draft. So I'm thinking maybe like the week before, then they can select who they're going to have as their keeper. And I can go in and manually add that person from the player pool to their rosters for them. So it won't even get to draft, and that'll allow people chances to mock draft and accurately. I know we can reasonably assume who's probably going to be taken, but we just don't know that. Now, the reason I'm saying rather than do it now, I've got Pat Mahomes as my keeper. That's not changing, but sorry, Matt, unless some other Kansas City Chief like Pat Mahomes beats his wife or his kid or commits arson or Grand Theft Auto or something and is going to be suspended or whatever. You know, I mean, I don't assume that about Pat Mahomes, but I don't know what to think anymore. So I'm going to be changing my keeper, you know. And so if something happens to him at the last minute or in the preseason, he gets decapitated, you know, I'm going to want to switch that to one of my other players. So I'm not going to put anybody in a position where that's already been in the league where they're stuck with garbage for a keeper. So it will be probably the week before we can reasonably assume after that preseason games played where we're not running the risk of losing somebody or something, then we'll make sure all of our keepers are locked in at that point, and then we'll go ahead and assign whoever Craig, Jeff, and Steven select from the pool in the order of Steven, or rather in this case, Jeff, Steven, and Craig, I think. How did I say that? No, Craig, Jeff, and Steven, right? Is that how I put it? That's not right, is it?
What are you talking about?
on the lottery for the sub lottery. It's Stephen, Jeff, and Craig.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yes. So I said that wrong. So it's definitely Stephen picks 1, 2, and 3 in that player pool that we'll have. So sorry for the confusion there. I got my words twisted up in my mind. But anyway, that's what we'll do. So I'm encouraging you, go ahead and really be looking at your keeper and figuring out who you want now, and go ahead and lock that in, if you will, please. And what I'm going to say is, please, before the start of the draft, send in your league dues. I know a lot of you guys are really cool about it, you know, and try to, and you're like, hey man, I'm going to get it in immediately, and a lot of y'all do, and then some of us, you know, we forget and it slips our mind, and then here we are, you know, 2 weeks before a championship game, and I'm still collecting cash. What I do with that, when y'all send me a check, I put it in the bank. And it stays in the bank. Put it in a savings account, and it stays there, and it doesn't come out. And then at the end of the season, I just cut a check immediately to the winner, whether I have everybody's dues or not. And so that means if, in this case, like there's 12 teams, it'll be $240. This year will be the payout. If 2 people haven't paid out, I'm going in the whole $40, you know, until somebody kicks in their cash. So please, 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 get me the money before the draft. If you need my address, hit me up in a text, and we'll go from there. That's it. That's it, right? That's all the league business? All right.
That's it.
We're good. And for those that are new to the league, this is Drew Jar. He is Ackbar on the league. So, yeah.